America's foreign policy would be better served by a realist approach and a healthy dose of restraint. I'm William Ruger, a political scientist, Navy Reserve officer, Afghanistan veteran, and a foreign policy realist. And I'm a restrainer. I advocate for a foreign policy based in realism and executed with restraint. So what does a foreign policy of restraint look like? Restraint flows out of and is founded upon the 2,500-year-old theory of realism. And what it says in a nutshell for the United States today is that we shouldn't be fighting wars or committing to entangling alliances that are not in our national interest. So given America's natural and earned advantages, things like two oceans, weak and friendly neighbors, a superior economy and military, including many, many nuclear weapons, what constitutes our national interest? Well, first of all, our territorial integrity. Secondly, the conditions of our economic prosperity. And by conditions of prosperity, we mean things like freedom of the seas, our ability to trade with other nations, not who's in charge in Iraq or Afghanistan or Libya. And we also mean our liberal democratic system of government here at home. Restraint means committing to military action only to meet those threats to our national interests. It doesn't mean isolationism. We want to engage in trade and diplomacy with other nations. Restraint doesn't mean pacifism. As restrainers, we support maintaining a military force second to none, but a military force that is trained and equipped to protect our territorial integrity, the conditions of our economic prosperity, and our liberal democratic system here at home. Finally, restraint means meeting several other conditions before committing U.S. military forces to war or to significant actions that are not truly undertaken in terms of protecting against imminent threats to our national defense. One of those is it constitutional? Has Congress actually voted to declare war or authorize military force as appropriate? Because too often the executive branch has acted without congressional authority. Do we have a clear strategic objective? From Vietnam to Syria, too often in the last 7 decades, the U.S. has sent young men and women overseas to fight and unfortunately to die without a coherent plan and a realistic objective. Finally, does that strategy have a well-considered endgame? We cannot afford another decades-long nation-building effort by the U.S. military. Folks, restraint acknowledges the need for self-defense. As realists, we understand the world is a dangerous place. A policy of restraint would not have kept us from punishing the Taliban and pursuing and dismantling al-Qaeda after September 11th. It would have kept us from lingering in Afghanistan for 2 decades. It would have kept us from the disaster of the Iraq War. It would have saved trillions of dollars. It would have prevented many of the 7,000 plus deaths of those who served in the global war on terror, and thousands more when you count suicides. Restraint is an idea whose time has come.